Friday night. Thank God. It was a long week. Welcome to The Shit.
TGIF. Say it loud.
Yes. Happy Friday to everybody.
Everybody.
Welcome to The Shit with Tonya and
Jonesy.
That's
Jay.
right.
They do call me Jonesy.
That's right.
A lot. With Jay Jones.
How was your week?
We was rocking. We met up today. But we met up this week. 9/11 did a shout out.
Oh, yes, we did. We can't play the video.
You can't?
No.
What happened?
Can't play videos.
Give me the short.
Well, anyways, short is we went out to 9/11 downtown, took some pictures to video and everything like that, and showed the beam and the flowers and
The
it was
trees,
sad,
just
a sad day.
Yeah.
I don't care how many years it is. It's just a sad day.
Is it 17 years now, right?
17 years.
Wow. Who's talking? You gotta tell us.
Yes, let's introduce
yourself.
our guest.
I'm sorry. My name is Adonis Tsilimparis, and I remember 9/11. I remember that day.
Yeah.
I got evacuated out of work. I had to run home. No subways, no buses, everything was dead. I had to walk home. Crazy. Spent the next 3 days watching CNN.
And Nancy.
Yeah.
Let's introduce you.
Nancy Colier.
Yes. Author
of The Power of Off. And I remember that day like it was literally 30 seconds ago. I was going into work. I had a bit of a tiny bit of a fight or conversation with my husband, who was headed down to the World Trade Center that day. And I heard, as I was walking to work, that it was blown up.
Oh.
And he was supposed to be in the building.
Oh, wow.
And he was on the last subway that he stayed on the train.
Oh.
He didn't get off. He was hearing something.
Are you serious?
And for about 4 hours, I was under the impression he was dead in the rubble.
Oh.
Yeah. He was. If we hadn't had that conversation that morning, he would be in the building when it happened.
So you're gonna.
That's a wow moment.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
is a
Let's
wow
get the.
That's a wow moment.
Yeah, I'm Bob Barnshaw. I'm a transcoding software salesperson, but
Copy
I was
that.
up in Massachusetts on that day, and what I remember, just the confusion, and then going outside and just not seeing anything in the air. And just the stillness, even being 250 miles away, how quiet everything seemed.
Crazy.
I remember the quality of the sky that day.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Blue,
It was
right?
just beautiful.
Yeah. Like
It's a nice
crystal
day.
blue.
The weather was beautiful. It was just. I remember like yesterday.
It was a
Yeah.
nice
Wow.
summer
So-
day. It was a summer day.
I remember what I was wearing.
Me too.
And what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was the last train coming in too. The E train, the last train.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that I was planning to get to work really early that day because I had decided that I wanted to go to the Windows of the World
Wow.
and eat, have lunch, take pictures and all that stuff. So anyways, I'm getting on the train and I'm wondering why the train was stop, go, stop. It just didn't go.
Yeah.
So finally when I got off the train, I was like 45 minutes late, maybe an hour. Getting to work, and I called on the payphone. Y'all remember we had payphones?
Of course.
I remember those.
We had payphones, and I called, say, "Look, I'm so sorry." They was like, "Where are you?" I just hear people in the newsroom screaming, and then at that time, the second plane hit the building.
Wow.
So I dropped the phone, and I ran through the subway thing, and ran upstairs. There was no one on the streets. There was no cabs, no buses, no nothing.
Sad.
At that moment.
Awful day.
Did you all lose anybody during the attacks?
I know someone who did, but not me personally.
I know quite a few people who did, actually. A dear friend of my daughter's lost her father. And
wow.
yeah, I feel like the city will never be the same. It really has fundamentally changed.
Right.
That's what I hear. I hear a lot of stories like that. I was out on the coast, so
Certainly, when you travel, it's not the same anymore.
it isn't.
Yeah, definitely.
That
Yeah.
is
Things changed
really
that day
changed.
right there. I did lose a colleague of mine,
Did, wow.
a friend of mine who I went to college with
Right.
at the Pentagon. He was in a meeting, and Major Ron D. Milam, that's his name. We went to college together at Eastern New Mexico University, and I guess he was at a meeting and just didn't make it out. The plane hit that area. So.
I remember I was working at St. Luke's, and the hospital was littered with those sheets of paper of people's faces
Wow.
for about a week or two.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
where have you seen
Right.
the whole front of the hospital? It was terrifying.
Yes.
Yeah.
17 years.
17
You were in
years.
thick. You were really
in it.
you really
Yeah.
were.
I thought my husband was dead.
I know, for 4 hours,
for
like,
four-
ooh.
four
And you
or
have
even
like
longer.
3 children, or two
Two
Yeah.
kids, yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember when the receptionist at my work said, you know, the second building just went down. And I remember the thought, if he were alive, I didn't know the phone lines were down yet. So there's no way that he would not be calling me to tell me. So the only explanation was that
Right.
he was gone.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But you had a great happy ending, no joke. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he walked in the
Yeah.
door.
What was that like?
Well, it's like someone coming back to life.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
it quite literally is. I had
'Cause
written
you
it off.
thought, right.
And I thought, my husband was killed by terrorists? Like, that makes no fundamental sense. Nothing. Right? In this country?
Right, in this country.
Yeah.
But we got too big. That's what we got big head.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what it was.
That's right.
Yeah.
We got
Wow.
big.
That's right.
I think we have a call.
I know, but man, you can't go from.
I know.
Whoa.
We have a
shift
little
of
better-
gear.
I got a little better transition, but I got
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I learned that my friend, I work in news during the day. That's my day job. I remember looking up at the monitors and learning that my friend died then. And nobody called.
Oh,
I learned
God.
reporting the news.
Wow.
So
You were actually. Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
You, oh, right.
So
How did you
where
hold
was
it
your
to-
office?
on 57th. I'm at the broadcast
yeah.
center.
Oh, you
How'd
had-
you hold it together? How did you?
I didn't because well, I don't even remember. That day was just crazy in the whole newsroom. Everybody was freaking out,
Yeah.
and I was there for maybe 12 hours, and they sent me home. How I was supposed to get home, I don't know. I walked all the way down from 57th down to the Trade Center. At that time, they didn't close any roads off or anything. And I remember this cantina. I don't even know what street that was on.
Yeah.
I remember this bar, and people were just drunk
yeah.
out of
Don't
there.
know
I
what else to
mean,
do.
no cars, nothing. It was crazy that day.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
crazy.
But you see how much we've fundamentally changed. I was in the Lincoln Tunnel the other day, and there was all the traffic had stopped. And my first thought is, oh God,
Yeah.
what is this?
Oh my God.
And here we are 17 years later,
Yeah.
and that's the first thought.
Right. Right.
Terrorism.
Yeah, terrorism.
Yeah, we do go through that a lot. But yeah, I'm going to shift it, but damn. And we went down and took pictures. I'm sure you must have. We're going to talk about some of the scenes you must have around.
Yeah.
Okay, stand by. So how do we bring it in? Sham Nizzle.
What's up, my man?
Hey.
Hey, so listen, Sham, we were talking about 9/11 because it was this week. Sham's in the news biz. What's your title again, Sham?
I'm in the television biz now. I shifted from news into travel. So I'm the founder and CEO of Diversigo TV.
Okay.
Simply, we inspire people of color to travel the U.S. Make it simple like that. How
Make it
about
simple. Where were you in 9/11? Were you born?
that? You know, yes, I was born. You know, you forget I'm from Virginia, so it does ring personal to me. For folks out there in New York.
Right.
But
Where
I was
are you?
here I'm in California now, but I was in California when it happened, and I was about to take a flight to San Francisco, and my buddy from the East Coast gave me a call and said, yo, turn on the TV. Turn on the TV. And I was like, why, man? I'm about to get on this flight. He's like, you got to turn on the TV. And at that same time I turned on the TV, I saw what was going on, and the second airplane hit.
Damn, what time was that one? That was like 8. They
was
started making
after
the
8.
time.
Yeah.
You knew the times like forever.
Yeah,
Almost,
yeah.
You know?
Numbers that are stuck in our
So
heads.
I definitely remember that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well,
Yeah,
Sham lost a
memorable
friend today,
time.
a dear friend of ours as well. That's why he's calling, but I'm trying to tell him to make it like a celebration. Tell David Davis, an anchor, because I worked in San Diego for a long, long time. That's how I met Sham. We worked together. We had a lot of fun, but we're not going to talk about the crazy zaniness of the morning
Right.
news.
Because it was crazy.
I'm a morning
Those are two
news
crazy
guy.
days.
Oh, you
Before,
are?
I'm like 30 years in the biz, and a lot of it's morning news. So I try to bring ratings. I'm that guy who like brings in the buffalo and the bikini model.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
You
Yeah.
know,
Whatever
after
you got.
I brought
Whatever
in a
you just
camel.
bring it.
You know that
Yeah.
I had to upstage you
Yeah.
from a buffalo to a camel.
Right. Well,
You know, with
everybody
Hump Day,
tried to
back to
upstage
Hump
me
Day.
because Hump Day brings in the camel. That's
Right, right,
morning
right.
news. Well, they had to stop Hump Day now because you could just go to Instagram. But so
Right.
Share Mizzle, because I know it's
What's
tight.
up?
Guess what? Cohen's going to call in too.
Wow, old bosses calling in.
Old bosses.
Wow.
Calling in. Because, Cohen's my old boss. Because our boy. So tell us about David Davis, the fabulous anchor we just lost. Craziness.
Well, one
Yeah.
thing is that, David Davis, first thing, was a good guy. We called him the Silver Fox because, he was a well-seasoned anchor. He came from the biz. He was in the business for a long time. And one thing about the Silver Fox to me, and why I called him that, was, he had this suave, debonair personality, this look about him, and he knew the business. So you have this well-rounded person that had that look of being an anchor, right? But he was also, for me, a mentor, a teacher, an individual that will take you aside and teach you the elements of the business. And so for me personally, that's how I see him, as an individual. When I was there for almost 8 years, he groomed me from being just a little writer to a then producer, and leaving there as a segment producer, because every time he saw a need, he was inspiring me to, like, hey, you should think about doing this. Make it happen. Let's make it happen. And that making it happen made me and had allowed me to go through the newsroom and elevate my career.
Wow.
into a segment producer.
Because
he
Tanya's
saw
a
me.
news person, too.
That's right.
Tanya's been
That's right. I've been in the news for I'm not going to say it.
I know, I slipped.
You don't want to go there.
Trust
no,
me.
no.
I slipped. But, because Tonya hangs out with Gail in the morning at the CBS show.
I
So
try to.
She can mentor
Okay.
you. Take it to your next level.
But
You gotta come to New York for it.
Tanya, so you can understand when you have people in the business that support you and see your worth, because the business is not like that.
Right.
The
I
reality
do.
is
I
the
have a lot of
business is
mentors.
It's not as nice as I'm saying it is.
No,
So
it's
you
not.
have somebody in the business that helps and grooms you to see your greatness, to grow you into that greatness. You got to commend it. And I'm going to say what the sad part about this, Jay and Tonya, is like when I left out of the business and when he passed is when I realized this. I knew it as I was coming through that he was always at a special part for me, because when he wanted a story or an idea, as when I was a segment producer, he always was like, hey, Shamrock, this is how you should look at it. This is the perspective. Mm-hmm. He gave that to me. But when he passed, I started to reflect on those moments that he had with me. The moments, and I'm going to tell you,
But
this
I'm going
is
to bring
one that Jay
Adonis
can
into
remember.
this.
Jay, you remember these. These are the moments that I remember.
Give
You're
me the
there at
top
2
two.
o'clock in the morning,
Right.
putting together the show, right? The idea, and we're going to have Davis go do this live shot that he may not like. And who had to deliver that information? I had to. So he walked out the door a little frustrated, but by the time he came back, he was cool. Because he would always deliver that live shot on point. Number one, if I called him and said, hey, David Davis, guess what, out of this terrible live shot, you need to do a package, he may gave a little grunt, but he always came through in the end and always said, hey, Shamrock, I know it wasn't you. It was the director from the top, but I understand. So that's
Sam,
what
I got to
made
slow
him
you
a
down a little bit,
professional.
because I got to bring Adonis in, because as an artist, right?
Yeah.
Because we all need a mentor.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
because this whole show's about positivity.
Exactly.
So, like, you've been through a lot, I'm sure. Like, if you take someone like Sham, in person, who's kind of, help you blossom?
Oh, so many people along,
Because you can understand the passion. We hear the passion in Sham.
Exactly.
Of course, yeah. But as he said, you need someone there who can help you and just
Right.
basically show you how it goes, and then explain to you everything. So it's been more than just one person; it's been several.
Yeah.
So
For
I
me
can,
too.
Right.
Yeah, I can
Definitely.
name many of them, but for each person, it's for a different level as you're going up, and without them, like mentors are very, very important.
And what you have to do is play it forward. Bob, you with us? Hey,
Yo.
Bob. Bob's our text guy. So how do you play it forward, Bob? I got to bring everybody in the conversation, Sham.
Play forward.
problem.
Yeah, because if you have a mentor, right? So
How do you
each
give
one
back?
teach
Yeah, you
one.
got to pay. Yeah, exactly.
right.
I've definitely mentored a couple.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I give back, through my children and their friends, and people from my school. Day in the life type of things.
Yeah,
and
right,
whatnot,
right.
Getting involved, and it's all about. Yeah, I was with a young woman last year who was really fired up about what she might do with the rest of her life. and I took her on a day around New York City visiting a couple of accounts. Okay, and at the end of
on
my
a date or a
day.
day?
I took her to about 4 or 5 places. Okay, I took her to Vox Media and WNET and places like that, and she was just a freshman. She's just a freshman, and she's already thinking about what she's going to do for the rest of her life.
That's cool.
Too, I think when you have a mentor, the big thing about a mentor is somebody that takes interest in your life and your ideas and helps them. You might have a sort of a vague sense of what your passion is, but somebody who helps you focus it and is interested in your development. That's the main thing. Somebody who's wants you to flesh them out. That was my first mentor. I just was curious about, that sounds like it really interests you. You know, how do we build that? But mostly somebody who actually was interested in you.
Well, a lot of people are interested, or I'll say this. A lot of people might be interested in you, per se, because they see a piece of them in you.
Wow,
so that's why they want to mentor
Right.
and
The
make
energy.
you,
Yeah.
the energy.
Right.
So, and that was always the case for me. They always said, "Oh, I see me in you," that type of thing. So,
Sure.
Yeah. I never find that comment that helpful personally. It's like, so this is about
This
you.
is Nancy. Nancy is.
Yeah.
Nancy, introduce yourself. You got to always remind yourself to introduce yourself.
I'm Nancy Colier
Yeah.
again, right?
Yeah.
And as a psychotherapist, I always find that to be a little bit of a projection. So in you're developing me, you're developing you.
right.
It's more interesting if it's actually about you.
Right, it is, but I also understand what they're saying. It's
Of
like
course,
I'm
of
their
course.
kid.
Yeah, yeah.
Jim,
That's
have you
right.
spoke to the wife or the family? Is he still with us? Shamrock?
Yeah.
Have you spoke?
I think it's important. I think it's so. I think I'm a comment.
we gotta
on
let
her
him go.
comment. Because I
Okay.
think it's important too. Is like when you have people and mentors in the business that
We
are a
gotta
little
move
older
too.
than you, that sometimes want to that say to you, "Hey, you know what? I know what the challenges are that you're dealing with, and these are some of the things that are going to help you navigate through that." Because I think that's important. I mean, would you agree on that? Because I think
Absolutely.
there's a part of that where you just have to navigate. You're having those challenges of coming through and growing in this particular business.
Well, listen, grow on, because I got to bounce, but I'm glad you called. What's up?
I was
Nancy wants to say
curious
one more thing.
No. I wanted to ask Tonya about if there's what the role is going on about CBS.
Oh, you got to hold that.
That's a big one. That's a big one. So we'll come back.
We'll come back to that. Share Nizzle, you my man.
yeah.
Stay cool. If you come back to the East, you always invited. For sure.
Hey, I'm gonna look
Hey, it
you
was
guys
nice-
up when I come out there. Nice
Exactly.
talking to
Nice meeting with you.
And keep
Nice
us
meeting you.
posted.
Take
And
care.
Cohen's
See ya.
calling in. Peace out. Have a good night.
All right, have a good
Friday.
night. Happy
Have a good
Friday.
All right. Bye-bye.
Stevie Cohen, you in the phone?
I am here.
Oh, hey, how are you?
Cohen's
I'm
quite
great.
a pro as
I was
well.
just listening to the tail end of that conversation. Certainly, a lot of good information going back and forth on that one, I thought.
Yeah.
So let's introduce Mr. Stephen Cohen.
Let him introduce himself.
Yeah.
Go,
All
Steve.
right, I will. So I'm a fellow that's run newsrooms most of my life. I ran my first newsroom in Peoria in 1973, so I've been at this a while. Run newsrooms in New York, Los Angeles, Boston, and I've been in San Diego for the last 15 years at an independent station called KUSI-TV, and that's what I do for a living.
And you write and do films, right? We had a project we was trying to pitch.
Absolutely. No, yeah. I mean, that's the artistic side. You've got to have something else you reach for besides what you're doing
Exactly.
day to day to make a living.
Exactly.
So, I'm a guy. I've written a number of books, and you and I have been working on a project about World War II, which is really the last untold story of 15,000 African Americans that were gathered in the desert south side of San Diego in Yuma El Centro, and they were sent in 3 ships to India to build the Burma Road, which went from Burma to China. Winston Churchill said, "Never happened, will not do it," and guess what? These young men did it. They were 18,
I
19-year-old
never heard this story.
Not
guys
me
from
either.
all over
Yeah.
America,
That's
brought
amazing.
together for one thing, which is to get on bulldozers and build a road while the Japanese were firing at them and trying to kill them. It's a true story.
That's amazing.
I know it's hard to believe, but the idea that Jay and I have is called the Lido Road Diary, which is a fictionalized account of that story.
Huh.
Don't you like that? It's pretty exciting.
Are you making this into a film, or is this?
Yeah,
is it a book?
our goal has been to for Jay and I to see if we can get somebody to help set
fishing.
it up. I've been out with this story for a few years. You know,
That would be a great film. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, it will
yeah.
be. I mean,
Well,
it will be.
We
It's
can
not
further
even
this
it will.
conversation, but you got to fish. You got to get those attachments. That's
I
what we're
didn't
trying
even
to
know
do.
that,
We had
Jay.
to,
Get the money.
You know what? When you're grueling and grinding and having a passion, you sometimes you can't drop balls, but certain things starts to shift. But yeah, this is one Steve and I have been working on. That's why I'm happy he was able to call in.
That's cool.
Also a good friend. Also, like Shan was talking about.
And let me know if you need
the
music on
anchor.
that film, by the way.
We have to further this conversation so that we can see if we can plant a seed.
I just had to go there, you know.
Yeah,
I'm glad
you're
you did.
supposed to.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do.
I had to go there.
You got to
I'm
have
an
30 balls in
opportunist.
the air. Right?
I'm an opportunist.
Well, let's get
Sorry.
a meeting on the table, as they say, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Put it on the mahogany.
Make it happen.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think that will happen very soon. So keep that.
So I know we want to keep it upbeat, but just tell us quickly about David, because a mutual friend. I just wanted to give him a little shout out on the cast and keep it moving.
Yeah. So are you still there?
Yeah.
I lost you.
No, we're here testing.
Right. No. So what do you? I think Jay. Everybody talks about African American stories. This is one of those great stories. But even if you have a great story these days, it is hard to penetrate the decision makers of Hollywood. And these films, big or small. I've done a few smaller movies, and it still takes forever. Even if you're raising $8 or $9 million, this is a film that would be more expensive than that.
Nancy,
So what do
you
you
been
guys
in the
think?
movie business? Oh, they love it.
A minute.
Oh,
for
yeah?
a hot minute. Yeah, long time ago. Just a little bit of development.
Oh, okay.
Fun, TV.
Easy,
Neither.
sexy.
No,
No.
not particularly.
Okay.
No.
So you left that career.
I left that. career,
yeah.
She saw
I
it and was
remember-
like, out. I'm out.
I got many years ago. My first job out in Los Angeles. I remember I interviewed with Disney a whole bunch of times, and then I finally got hired as the person that was going to write for Disney on Ice.
Okay.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and I got
Heard of it?
offered the job.
Yeah.
I went out and I sat in the parking lot, and I had a complete existential breakdown.
What?
I said, I cannot write for Disney on Ice as my time on this planet. Literally. And at that moment, I made a complete turn in career, went back to school for becoming a therapist, and became an interfaith minister. But it was that moment of signing up to write for Mickey. That was my crack.
What happened?
I don't
In the
know.
parking
Just-
lot
yeah.
of Burbank.
Literally sitting in the parking lot in Burbank,
Under the heat.
no can do,
Right.
No
just
can
no can
do.
do.
Wow.
So
It
what'd
was
you do?
my. I left
Did
LA.
you tell him?
I
course
just
you did.
politely
I'm just,
declined. I politely declined the offer. Yeah.
Wow.
And it was a very
Wow.
well-paying offer, and I was like
Wow.
27 at the time.
And that's a major
I just
gig.
thought-
So
It was
I
a major
think-
gig.
You
And
had a
I
moment
just-
of clarity
I
in
did.
Burbank.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
In the parking
anymore,
lot.
yeah.
In the parking lot.
Did you
Sitting
ever,
on
did you
one
ever
of
look
those
back?
raised
Did you ever
little
say,
pieces.
Oh, did you
"Wow,
ever
maybe
look
I
back?
should, maybe I just should have sat down and tried that"?
No.
Wow.
Ah.
No,
No
I
regrets.
look back on many things, but
No
that
regrets.
was a knowing, a
Wow.
deep knowing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's amazing that you had that single moment of clarity, because most of us don't have that. Unfortunately, we go into these things
Especially in a
I had
parking
thinking
one.
lot.
these things are going to work out, and then
I
then
definitely had
months or
one.
years later, then you get the moment of
Yes.
clarity. Much
That's right.
later, you say, "Geez, what if I had just taken a different path, the road less traveled? Maybe I would have gone further."
That's
wow.
right.
No,
That's
I
right.
had one too.
Yeah.
What
I
happened?
yeah. I was actually going to be like over all the media for this church down in Miami. They flew me down. They were going to put my daughter in the school and everything, and they were just giving me the whole shebang, and I was going to be the head over all of it and getting paid all this money.
Yeah.
But I was in the limo going back to the airport with the pastor of the church, and I was like, I'm so sorry.
Oh,
No can
okay.
do.
I'm so sorry. I had it right there. I don't know where I'm going to be, but it's not here.
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
clarity.
This show's about positivity.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to
Right.
add clarity
Right.
to the road.
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly.
And sometimes
Yeah,
your
but
road
that
doesn't look
tells
like.
me that both of you have sort of an essential sense of who you are, sort of a core belief that has always been with you.
Yeah.
Not everybody develops that along the same time. For a lot of us, it comes later in life where you say, like, I'm an artist inside, I've got to get that out. I have to do
Yeah.
this
Right.
for myself, whatever it is. But I think it's often this sort of missing a knowing that you've missed something, which could be a pursuit of love, it could be your artistic instincts, or it could just be saying, when am I going to start living the life I want to live? Isn't it time, you know?
Is there anything other than time on the planet that helps you get that perspective? I mean, can you realize that at a young age? I mean,
I was
apparently
young.
you did-
Contemplation.
I was young.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
knew that I wasn't supposed to be there. I knew I didn't know where I was
Right.
going at that
Right.
time,
Right.
but I knew I wasn't supposed to be there. So
Well,
I
something drives us,
Yeah,
right? If
exactly.
you're listening, you have that
Exactly.
tether down into your own voice.
If you're in
Right.
touch with yourself,
Right.
if you're in touch with yourself,
Right.
Yeah,
And
but
something
I
says
think-
this is
don't you think that sometimes we're all moving so darn fast
Yes.
that it's hard to
course.
listen to that inner voice, that sometimes you know it's there, but you just don't stop long enough to hear it. Now, both of you guys did.
Right.
And I'm not sure that's the common approach. You know, sometimes you run into people like you guys that sort of have old souls, you know, you sort of like, it's
Right,
just there.
right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the rest of us have that.
Well, I think the more, though, that we can ask those contemplative questions of ourselves, you know, that's become kind of, as you said, we're moving too fast now to say, how's this life going for me?
Right.
Is this working? Is this
Yeah.
bringing out kind of my authentic self, right? Those questions have to be asked. At other times in history, those were part of just a basic internal dialogue. And now because, you know, we're so busy on our phones, we don't stop to say, is this nourishing me, this life?
Right.
I think that's why they say things like, either prayer or like meditation is important in your life.
Right.
Right.
Take 'em
Right.
Yeah, I
Stop.
know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Take 'em
these are not
away
new,
from all the
new ideas. I mean, you
Yeah.
can go back to the ancient
ancient.
philosophers like Aristotle. He used to
Sure.
say, look, before you speak, what's the value of what you're about to say? Is it
Exactly.
going to
Right.
hurt? Is it going to help?
Mhm.
Is it going to
Right.
move someone? And does
Yes.
it complete you?
Yeah.
And that's Aristotelian. It seems to me that sort of works today. It's just do you take the time to do that
Yeah, but nobody's
before
doing
you
that
open your
nowadays.
mouth or text somebody?
Yeah. Unfortunately, nobody's doing that.
Right. All they
nowadays.
do is look at their phones.
Yes. Well, the rise, though,
Yeah.
of mindfulness, you know, and Buddhist practice is right speech. You know, is this
Yes.
thing I'm about to say going to bring something positive to the table? If not, then restraint of pen and tongue, right? These are basic
I like
mindfulness.
these terms.
Yeah. So that the rise of mindfulness is encouraging in terms of the awareness
Yeah.
of.
I think that's right. But I guess I sort of am somewhat repulsed by the forced mindfulness. You know, the sort of the
Yeah.
forced meditative activity, as
Yeah.
though it's the only pathway to self-realization. Seems to me that you can be self-realized in a lot of ways, and meditation is a way, but it's not the only way
It's
to
not the only,
get
no.
there.
Sure.
Being quiet, being still, being with someone that you love and care about, and listening.
Being
All of those
appreciative.
things can get you there
Yeah.
just
Being
as
appreciative.
quickly without having
Great.
to go through a certain
Yeah.
methodology
Yeah.
or pay to be
Yeah.
in a class in Manhattan. You know.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I think listening and being observant is very important.
I think that's where a lot of people are missing.
Yeah.
Well,
A
no
lot
one's
of that.
listening anymore.
Yeah. Or
Well,
being
gotta
observant.
listen.
You know?
Gotta listen. Well, Steve, we're gonna take on 30. We're gonna break. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks,
Hey, I
Steve.
just
It
wanted
was
to
nice
say hello
talking
you
to you.
and,
Good
be,
chatting.
and participate
Nice
with
meeting
your
you.
folks. Thanks a lot. My
How
friend.
can people reach out to you if they need to? How, you on Facebook? You on social media? What's
Yeah, I'm
happening?
on Facebook under Steve Cohen, newsman, and all my craziness is on there. So happy to have you join in.
All right, copy that.
Good luck to you.
Nice meeting you.
Hey, thank you guys. Take
All right,
Talk to you soon.
we're taking a break. We'll be right back.
Solid.
Oh, oh, yeah. Knees scrape, palms too. Every inch of me is covered in a bruise. Hurts like hell. Eyes black, blood blue. I could let go now, but I can't and I don't want to. I won't lie, it's a battle of the mind. a fight. Hold my purse, don't be surprised, 'cause the tables have turned and now you realize I ain't tempted by the offer to surrender. Are you done yet? The answer is never. Know how to float, so I'll never go under. Just might sting you, so run for cover. Mama show ain't raised no quitter, so with all that pain I felt, I was down but I got back up, and now I'm taking home the bell. 'Cause if I stay down, then I'm giving up what they want. Hey, yes, if I stay down, then I'm giving up what they want. Then I'm giving up what they want. Oh, if I stay down, then I'm giving up what they want. Oh, my God, if I stay down, then I'm giving them what they want. Then I'm giving them what they want. Sometimes people let their envy get in the way. 'Cause misery loves company, and they just want you to stay. But if you stay down, then you're giving them what they want. Who cares about what they want? You can't stay down, because that's not what you want. Because that's not what you want. Yes, if I stay down, give them what they want. Can't be. Oh, yes, if I stay down, then you're giving them what they want. Stay
Baby girl, don't try. Put my feelings to the side. And I just wanna cry, man, I really wanna go. But it's not my time. Process is on my mind, do you really fuck with me? Cause I really fuck with you. Gotta focus, gotta grind, feel I need my mind out, yeah. Baby girl, don't try. Put my feelings to the side. Man, I just wanna cry, man, I really wanna go. But it's not my time. Process is on my mind, do you really fuck with me? Cause I really fuck with you. Gotta focus, gotta grind, feel I need my mind out, yeah. I know you gotta go through trials and struggles to get to where you wanna go. And there be haters who hate on you 24/7. Show love when they see you on road. Head on the swivel, been with us since little. Can't believe I'm 20, yeah, man, I know. Independent since 16. I know. Nigga had big dreams. I stopped dreaming, now I'm living dreams. But God first in everything. Looking back, I came a long way. And shout out the niggas who paved the way.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back to The Shit.
The Shit.
People are talking about what Tonya
And Jonesy.
That's right. We're here with our guest today.
All right, we switched up the room a little bit.
We played musical chairs.
We certainly did.
I'm sitting in the cool chair now.
All right, who's talking?
Donis is going to spin for us.
Donis got to tell us who he is, what's happening.
I'm going to spin here. No, my name is Adonis. I am a composer. I write music for film and TV. Mm-hmm. You can find me on AdonisComposer.com.
Sounds hot.
Yeah.
Say it again.
AdonisComposer.com.
So you wrote jingles and stuff like that?
I wrote jingles. I write music for a bunch of shows for NCIS.
Oh.
Yeah, a bunch of short films. I just did a film for Universal last year. It was a remake of a Coppola film. It was his first movie in 1963 called Dementia 13.
Dementia 13?
Yeah, they remade it last year. So it's on Amazon. So if you go on there, you'll see the old version and the new version. So
Okay.
You're getting guests calling in and live. They can't get guys lost. Talk
What?
to them, Tanya.
Who
You can't
happened?
find out.
Who's
I'm gonna
who?
keep the conversation, but that's Mike.
Oh.
He's supposed to be here bringing the gin and tea. The party guy's always late, right?
Right.
I mean, what's
the
up with
wrong
that?
guy to be late.
So listen, where is the party in Harlem? What's the hottest spot in Harlem?
Oh gosh, the hottest spot
Or
in
your latest
Harlem, man. On Frederick Douglass, between 112th now and 118th, it's just there are about 5 new bars.
Sick.
I don't even know the names, but it's rocking. That area is completely hot.
112
Yo, I go
to
there for
115.
coffee every Monday.
You do?
I go to Double Dutch.
Double Dutch.
Yes,
Love Double
yes.
Dutch there in the morning.
I go in the back in the alleyway.
Yeah.
Really? I go to
Oh my
Frederick.
God.
Double
You go to
Dutch is
Frederick?
better?
Okay, Double Dutch is better coffee.
Where is it?
118th in Frederick Douglass.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm always in Harlem. Not
Also,
always,
BLVD is kind of cool.
but- Any rooftops in Harlem?
Nah, I don't
No
think so.
grassy
No,
backyards or
none of that
anything?
stuff. No, I mean Harlem Tavern is as close as you get to grassy. Yeah, not
I
happening.
don't mind the
yeah,
tab, but I think
better
what about
spots.
Uptown, the Edge? What's up with the Edge and all that?
I've
144,
heard that. I've heard that place is cool. I
Yeah?
haven't hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is
I'm
the
really-
edge? What is?
I
where
got
is
2
that?
kids. I mean, that
2
pretty
kids
much.
in the
it just,
South.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty much. Yeah, it takes me out of the cool loop there. Right.
No, but you're very cool.
Right,
You're very
right.
good.
I think the place next to Red Rooster is also super cool. It's that
That
yeah,
Paris spot
yeah,
or the
yeah,
French
yeah,
spot?
yeah.
yeah.
That place is hip.
I had onion soup
I like
there
that.
and
Yeah.
a couple of
Oh, hey,
cognacs.
here's the place.
Oh.
Harlem Tavern.
Okay.
Not Harlem Tavern.
No.
Maison Harlem.
Oh yeah, we love
That,
Maison.
we
Harlem.
love Maison.
We love
yeah.
Maison.
Totally authentic.
Yeah.
A little bit of Paris
A little bit.
in Harlem.
Yeah.
Really good food
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Well, you know, we love Harlem.
Yeah, yeah.
We love Paris. I mean.
Yeah.
We love Paris.
Yeah.
Fun.
I wish I had a better. If I had a better liver, I could hold more. Bars, but it's just not happening anymore.
Well, you know.
All right.
It's just
I
I gotta
feel
wake
you
up
on
in the
that.
morning. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Mornings are
It's not
like
working.
mornings for sunshine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of over that whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Me too. But I like a late night spot.
Yeah.
What are y'all
Double
talking about?
Dutch.
I missed
Hit
it.
the double dot.
I'm hitting the
Harlem.
double
Hot
D.
spots in
Yeah.
Harlem.
Double
Hot
D.
spots in Harlem.
All right.
Well, you got to be there on Monday. When you
Yeah.
gonna be there?
I used to go there Monday
Well,
mornings.
that's it.
Yeah.
I'll meet you there.
Tie it in. There you go.
Absolutely.
Mondays I go home. Sorry, I be tired.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta, you know.
By then.
You and no offense, but you off the turnpike, right?
Yeah, I'm off the turnpike.
Where's
So
that?
I heard Mondays are the new Friday, so
That's yeah.
I don't know.
had to go there. Sorry.
Okay, I'll come out. It's no problem.
Tanya
Yeah.
has no problem making it happen.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no
well,
problem.
hopefully you make it happen next week.
I know
Next
you hit me
tease next
whole.
week. You
Whoa,
should
whoa,
tease-
whoa!
we're gonna have a
I got my
we're gonna-
flu shot and you keep hitting me.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta get mine.
Boom, boom. That hurts.
What's happening next week?
Hopefully,
Are we
might get a
invited?
remote. You're always invited.
All
Yes,
right.
and you got to come through when we
Yeah.
invite you.
Yeah,
You
of
gotta,
course.
We gotta talk about that remote because that video we gotta show. How are we gonna show it?
You're gonna show it on your phone. You're gonna aim it to
Oh
video of what?
gosh!
What is this?
I'm
what
look.
happened?
I try not to be
Show
so
a little bit now.
professional.
Show a little bit now.
I
Let's
can't
do
show-
it now.
No, I
Tease.
can't.
Whoa,
what's up?
Why?
No, not
Show
yet.
it here for them then.
Okay, I will later.
Preview.
Why?
Why I gotta
Make
show
the
it now?
moment. See, okay, this is the first time we're having a disagreement.
This is
Yeah,
good.
it's-
This is good.
Hey.
Work it out. Work it out,
How you
team.
doing? Thank you.
The
How you
moment.
doing? Hey.
Mike just joined in. Hey, Mike.
Cool.
What's up, Mike? Come on in.
Just come in and say hey. You gotta say
How you
hi
doing?
in the
How
mic.
you
In
doing?
the mic. In the
Mike,
mic. In the mic.
Mike on the
Mike on the
mic.
mic. Just
Mike,
walked
take
in.
your coat off.
Yeah,
Stay
take
a
your coat
while.
off. Yeah, have a seat.
Yeah, everything's at the table over here. That's Mr. Glover. He has a very certain way, the way he likes to run things. So I
Yeah.
would suggest that goes over that way.
I'm gonna do that. Let me just
Okay.
take this off.
Okay.
So,
All right. That's
yeah, that's our first disagreement because normally I say make a moment.
Right, right.
We had a moment to be made.
what you.
And it
In
got
the
passed
media,
up.
you can't blow moments. That's all
I'm not
saying.
blowing a
And
moment.
in
The
life.
moment's gonna be next week. So come next week.
All right.
All right.
All right.
We're building some anticipation.
Yeah, exactly.
What day next
Yeah.
week? What?
Every Friday, brother. When you
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You're
we do
talking
this
about
every Friday.
okay.
Every Friday, he wants me to show the video of our next
show
guest who's
a
coming.
tease.
I can't. Well,
I'm
I have
showing
to
the
edit.
shit.
Yeah.
It's funny.
This moment is filled with anticipation.
Sometimes,
That
you
is
gotta-
a moment.
sometimes you gotta just take over. Take the mic.
Well, you take the mic then.
And let's
That's
see
right.
if I can find
That's
it.
what
Did you
Jay
text
taught
it to
me.
me?
Take
or
the mic.
Oh. Yes, I did. No, I didn't.
T. How did I get it?
preview.
Oh, I had to. Well, anyway.
That's why. That's why I said it's too much.
Oh, yeah, I'm
You don't
sorry.
care. What is that?
Oh, you gotta make sure you do it over the garbage can.
Yeah.
Here's a napkin.
Uh-oh.
Here's a napkin. Pass them that.
Here you go.
You gotta stay over there till you get situated. Yeah.
That's good.
Hey, you good? All right, cool.
Also, tell us about your book. Did we talk about the book yet?
Yeah.
No. I don't
Oh,
think
did
so.
you have a cover of the book?
No, I
Hey,
don't.
you better
I
find that. Is that in my
know.
email? You sent me
No,
one, right?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah,
The
I'm
Power
the author of The
of
Power
Off.
of Off.
Never a cover in your back
I
pocket
know,
on your
can you
business
believe it?
card?
What?
Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah.
What is?
Power of off. What's that?
It's the mindful way to stay
Who are
sane
you?
in a virtual world.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Love it.
So my name is Nancy Colier, and I go around the country giving talks on how to live a meaningful life in a digital world. So how to remember sort of team human, if you will, the values, all the things that fill our bucket.
Yes.
And all the ways that we're living in a distracted, addicted, disconnected way that is why the suicide rates are through the roof, why the depression and loneliness rates are through the roof, why it's not working. So it's not about becoming a Luddite. It's not about throwing technology out, but it's about making choices about how we want to live with it.
Okay, so in other words, and Mike Crawley here, I'm a technology person, so this is
Yeah, you gotta get to the
stimulating my
mic. You gotta
conversation.
Yeah.
Mic
Bob,
check,
share
1,
the
2,
mic with
mic
Nancy.
check, 1, 2. All right, so what you're actually suggesting that we have to coexist with this technology, not throw it out.
That's right. I'm talking about freedom in technology, not from it.
It's beautiful.
So how do we make mindful choices that respect what really works for us? So we're conscious. It's all about consciousness. Are we conscious, or are we just living by habit, living by our sort of inner reptile?
And let me tell you, this book is moving.
Okay.
You know, when Nancy and I connected, we've been through a lot. Well, I've known you for
A long time.
a couple of careers, right?
Yeah.
Not
yeah.
Disney.
No. Not Disney, thank God. Right. PD, post Disney.
Post Disney, exactly.
So it's to the millennials, or like who's the audience for
It's
this?
got a lot of ammunition.
It's actually for every generation, is the truth. It's for millennials for sure, because believe it or not, I get more and more patients and calls and interest from millennials that are saying this is not working for me. Right? That all my friends, we never get together. All we do is Facebook each other and text each other.
Right.
I never see them. I don't know how to talk to them anymore. All the ways that I'm living, right? The basic accepted ways of living now are making me miserable.
Yes.
And feel totally empty, and I'm lost in terms of what really
And
is
I
of
think
value.
you're speaking for more than just yourself, actually, right? You're speaking to the broad people at large. That's
Absolutely.
all of us. When
Right.
you say you're
Right.
speaking of us.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, I've interviewed more than 1,000 people. So this is of all generations.
True.
And talk to parent groups. How do you raise kids that have self-esteem?
Right.
When everything is externally driven, everything is about comparison. Everything is about, the Facebooked image of my
Right,
neighbor.
image.
And do I
Yeah,
look like
It's
that?
just all about image.
And
Yeah.
what's my
I mean,
brand? What's my brand?
Listen, I walk down the street today,
Right.
and I see everybody like this.
Yeah,
Texting,
that's
right? They
That's
standing
right.
next to
That's
each
right.
other,
Yeah.
and they text.
Right.
I'm like, what?
Right. It's
So
like my
where
daughter.
did this came
Like
from?
my
I mean,
daughter.
where did it come from? I mean, I'm like, why is
Right.
everybody thinking they're a superstar?
Right,
Phone.
right.
Yeah, everybody's Beyonce.
That's a
And-
frame of reference. It's Facebook.
Right,
Facebook.
right.
And you go, let's say you go to, I don't know, the museum, let's say. We're taking photos of ourselves looking at art, right?
yeah.
So that we can
You're
post.
actually right. I
Look
did
at me,
that
I'm a
last week.
cultural
I actually did
person.
that.
So we're not even in our experience anymore. We're just using our experience to build our brand.
Right.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Okay, let's talk about these experiences.
Wait, did
never
you see
understand.
the baseball? I guess the sorority was at a baseball game. I can't remember where. I remember seeing it, and the whole time the commentators were laughing because every single one of those girls were not watching the game.
We're just on
They
their
were
phone.
just on
That's
their
right.
phones
Yeah.
taking
That's
pictures,
right.
Yeah.
taking pictures of the hot dogs,
Yeah.
taking pictures of whatever. And the commentators
true.
were like, "Are you going to watch the
Right.
game at
Right,
all?"
right.
No,
So
I just want to
everything,
take a picture.
yeah, everything is a social thing
Yeah,
now.
and
Yeah.
all.
And that's extending.
But is there anything wrong with that?
Well, it is a little weird. I was
it's-
at a play last
Yes,
week,
there's
and
a lot
I heard
wrong
a girl
with it.
say, "I'm not here unless I check in on Facebook. Otherwise, I'm not really here."
That's right. It's-
No,
did the
I know that she was partly joking, but it's
No,
partly
no.
joking, partly
Just
But also
partly.
the way young women are spending their time is in just photographing themselves and trying to get beautiful
Thanks for the beer,
photographs of themselves. What
Got
a
it.
way to
yeah,
spend
it's a
their
lot of
time.
vanity.
But this,
Well,
this
Such a
notion-
Well, you know what? That takes us to. I keep tapping you on your fucking flu shot. Everybody should get a flu shot.
Flu shot?
Yes. Anybody get
Charlie
a flu
horses.
shot?
Charlie horses.
But speaking of that, that's what made me change the conversation.
No,
for a
wait,
second.
wait.
Zoe.
There's a lot wrong with it.
What's up?
You asked, is there something wrong with it?
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
There's
yeah.
something dreadfully wrong with it about the way they're building their self-esteem is based on how they look in that selfie.
Well, it's all about vanity.
Right.
Right,
that's
Bob
where
had
I'm
something
gonna
to say. Go ahead.
I don't think it's they.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
not,
Okay.
it's not just millennials. I think it's happening to everybody. You know, I think. You
Yeah,
know,
I see older people
you
doing
know,
it too.
Gen X's and Gen Ys.
Right.
We're all doing this kind of social branding
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not just Kim Kardashian and Bella Hadid or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
The model industry.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you stand for? What are you? How can we sell you as opposed to living your life?
But aren't some people making a good profit on it themselves?
Tons
as
of people
You know, they're
are.
actually getting
Tons.
wealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kylie Jenner,
Yeah, but famous for what?
nothing.
Right.
They're not getting paid.
Right,
I
right.
thought she's getting paid.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
just saying the
right.
people who are trying to emulate the Kardashians,
right.
they're not getting paid.
Right.
But what we value now is fame. We value fame. It doesn't
Fame
matter what it's
and
for.
big butts
right?
and
ease and
all
speed
kinds
and
of-
immediacy and
Well,
popularity.
I think it's more fundamental than fame. It's image.
Right.
It's
That's right.
image where the
Yeah.
value.
Well, and-
is. It's
and-
not
and
really
as you said,
value,
That's right.
you know?
Social media has placed the image
It has.
value
Well,
and
that's
everything.
why we were trying to discuss.
Off.
Well, that's what this is kind of about. It was like we were talking earlier, body image.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why we were going to talk
Image.
about Zoe.
Yeah.
What's her face? Kravitz.
Yeah.
So-
well,
Kravitz.
Kravitz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Zoe
yeah,
Kravitz.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah.
she's in what is she in? She's in Harper's Bazaar or something like that, having this whole conversation with Reese Witherspoon about the power of positivity
Exactly.
and people of her nature and her age group seem to really glom to this image, branding, IGTV lifestyle, where all this is kind of.
Yeah.
Is it real or is it counterfeit? Can you manage
Right.
without it? Devices on, off, healthy habits or not?
Yeah.
So that's
But
what.
part of the problem, I think, is that all of that positivity, when it comes from
A
social
fake
media,
place?
all this place, it's so fragile. You know, so the minute they post something that doesn't get enough likes or, you know, isn't well received, there's no
of
there's
them are
no
devastated,
weight
yeah.
behind it,
How do you
right?
deal with it
Yeah.
with teenagers?
Yeah.
You have to build.
But you
you
like
have
to
to
say- Go
build
ahead.
things that take hard work and time and effort. Things that
Well,
you
this
can.
is immediate gratification society. Ain't nobody trying to do that.
Exactly.
No.
They're all we're worried about is their YouTube
Well, someone's
followers.
got to be trying to do that.
We're
Yeah.
trying to do something.
Right?
Damn
You
Skippy.
are.
Yeah,
And we
exactly.
haven't even gone into the whole dark side with the whole cyberbullying.
Yeah, well, that's-
There's
Well,
a
help us.
very
Tell us.
dark-
Just give us a
there's
peek.
just stories I've heard, just like things in the
Oh,
news.
definitely,
Like, remember that one
especially-
girl in Massachusetts who killed herself like 5 years
yeah.
ago?
Right.
Cyberbullying.
Right.
A girl from Ireland, and she came, and she was really, really
Right,
pretty,
yes.
apparently.
That was
And,
crazy.
Absolutely.
and all the boys liked her. So the
Well, it's not just
Sick,
one girl in
man.
Massachusetts. I mean, it's happening all over. And what's
Right.
happening is because the phone is always on. These young people are always on and
Right.
they're always under pressure, social pressure. You know, I mean, all kinds of pressure. And
Sometimes
then
I feel like I'm under pressure on your gig, right?
Yeah, but dude,
Right, but you get a break because you can turn it off.
I
They're
think
never
Adele's
turning
too.
it off.
suicide rates for young people
Really?
is through the roof.
Yeah.
Tripled in
Through the
last
roof,
10
and
years.
that's just suicide. And that doesn't include like drug overdoses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that rap, though, that guy,
It's
Matt
Just
Miller.
last week.
It's
Yeah.
through the
Yeah.
roof,
Yeah.
okay? And it's everywhere. And I think it is because of these devices and the pressure that it brings upon them.
Yeah.
You know, if you didn't like somebody when you were 12, you would tell your 3 friends, and that would be about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you
Yeah.
post it on Facebook.
everybody knows.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and
The whole
people
world
are
knows.
connected with 1,000 people on
Yeah.
Right.
Facebook.
Like they having a personal
Well, then-
conversation,
Right.
right?
And then you don't want to go to school the next day.
Yeah.
You know?
Bullying
You're
in
moving out of
school.
town.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Right.
it used to be before
Damn.
some generations ago that when a kid came home, that kid had a break
Mm-hmm.
from all the pressures. Now the group chats, they can't miss a moment, right?
Yeah.
They're posting constantly. Snapchat, they've created all of these devices like
Snapchat.
Streaks where they
Yeah.
have to
That one's crazy.
keep communicating, otherwise they lose
That
their
one is like-
friendship. All these things have been studied by addiction specialists. And actually, addiction is good for business.
Right.
So, in other times, children had time where their nervous system calmed down. It doesn't exist anymore.
It's true.
Yeah.
But I think this does extend across all generations.
Yes.
I'll just give you a little real world example. My little tiny company, we had an event oriented around the Soccer World Cup where our technology was used. And everybody in the company is posting about it on social media, but they don't know what value we're bringing to the table. What were some of the fundamental aspects of it?
Sure.
And they don't know how to productize it and package it and sell it. And it's just so frustrating. They're just tuned to the image and the post. And not really
And the likes.
More blather.
And the likes.
More likes.
So hold on, because we got 2 minutes left. Okay. So that was Bob talking. Bob, how do people reach you? Just so that we make sure we get another plug in before you.
They can reach me on Facebook, Bob Barnshaw. Find me. I'm connected with about 87 people on Facebook.
Well, keep putting up some wine glasses. You'll be 87 more. And Nance?
NancyColier.com, and it's 1L.
Oh, you really stirred it up.
Yeah.
Ever since 9/11, you talked. You just really stirred it up. You kept it moving.
I'm stirry.
Yeah. Okay.
Sturry.
Adonis.
Yeah, we love it.
Adonis, hit us up with all your
Once again, AdonisComposer.com. Everything's on there.
The music on today, right?
That's
Yeah,
right.
the music, everything,
the man.
info, everything is
Wait a minute,
on
what
there.
instruments do you play?
I play piano, guitar, bass.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And I'm a producer too, so I do it all.
And what's next?
What is next is, that show Mayans? It's on the FX channel.
yes.
I'm doing some music for that. So
You wrote the music for that?
I'm doing some of it. It's
Okay.
not just me. It's
Were
me and
you
a
at
bunch
the
of
red
other guys.
carpet? I think it was 2 days
No,
ago.
that was in LA, and
Yeah.
I didn't go.
Okay. Next time. It doesn't matter.
Next time.
The check comes this way.
Exactly.
You don't have to take a
Exactly.
plane
It's the
everywhere.
checks that really matter to me.
That is the truth, Bruce.
Where'd you get that great name?
I love the
My
name.
father was
No.
very
I
powerful.
love it.
I'm like,
It's actually a very common name in Greece. My father's Greek, so everyone there has mythological names.
What does it mean?
It was just one of the gods or something.
Yeah.
So
And that's a wrap.
Wow, that's oh my God! All right, check you out next week. We got some guests, great guests coming.